Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Well, I've got some not so positive price outlooks for XRP from at least a couple analysts. And I'll tell you at the outset before breaking down into the details here. One analyst is thinking that XRP is targeting 16 cents. I have another analyst who says that it's perhaps getting down to, I think he said 20 cents. I'll pull up the specifics in this video here. So not so hot here. And this is a non-hype channel, so some of the times when I'm making these types of price videos, and that's what this one's going to be, there's very positive headlines, and so that'll be reflected in the video title. But when there's more negative than positive, then I'm more likely to put something negative in the video headline, and I'm proud to be a non-hype channel, and I just want to get the truth out there. And so, and I don't make price predictions. I'm not going to pretend to know which direction the price is going to go, but I do enjoy tracking all the chart analysts out there that at least purportedly know what the hell they're talking about, and I like sharing all of their sentiments with you, and so that's what's going to happen in this video here. But if you're ever wondering why there's positive headlines one day and then not the next, it's just a function of what's out there in the news and what's being stated by analysts, mostly on crypto Twitter, because that's where they seem to congregate and share their thoughts. But anyway, before we go any further here, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you don't like the idea of XRP at 16 cents, go ahead and subscribe. Although I bet even some of you XRP bulls out there who are very positive within the XRP community, some of you would like that, because I know you would love the buying opportunity. I know many of you out there listening would like, yeah, I would love 16 cent XRP. So it just depends on how you look at it. So let's go ahead and jump in now. The market cap for the crypto asset class continuing to slide down, $245 billion. Bitcoin's at 8,644. XRP sitting at 23.3 cents. And over the last 24 hours, down a little bit for both XRP and Bitcoin, and really the crypto asset class as a whole. Not dramatic slides over the last 24 hours, but down nonetheless here. This is the one that I was most looking forward to sharing with you. There's a new piece written by Magic, and I'm a huge fan of following what he puts out. Sometimes he goes silent for a while, but when he puts something out, I do like to track it and share his opinion with you. And he is a well-deserved near 70,000 followers on TradingView. And he is pro XRP, just to be clear here. And so all he's doing is taking a look at data and giving his honest interpretation of where he thinks the price is going, which is all you can really ask here. So right or wrong, this is what he thinks right here. And I really like following him. And so here's the tweet. He wrote, pending bear flag breakdown, XRP is targeting 16 cents, hashtag XRP USD chart. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go through this whole thing. It's not insanely long. For most articles that I cover, I try to not do that because I don't want to get overly technical. I think most people just want to understand the sentiment. But when Magic types something up like this, I tend to want to pay attention, and I want to pass along what he thinks to you. And so I'm going to go through the whole thing here. But again, like I said, it's not that long anyway. But looking at the current 4-hour XRP chart, we can see that things aren't looking so great at the moment. After finding huge resistance at the top of the falling wedge pattern, which is blue upper and lower trend lines, price began to fall dramatically. Additionally, there was a bearish crossover at the moving averages, which just occurred a few days ago. To make matters worse, XRP is forming a bear flag below the 61.8% Fibonacci retrace of the December-February bull run. That is not a good look at all. What I find most interesting about it, though, is that the price target for that bear flag is exactly on the bottom of the entire falling wedge formation. For those who don't know, a price target for a bear flag is generally found by subtracting the height of the flagpole from the breakdown point. Since there isn't currently a breakdown, I've copied and dragged the flagpole below the flag where I think it could break down. Some of you may be wondering why the dashed trend line looks longer than the flagpole if it's a copy of it, and the only reason is because this is a log chart. If it were not set to log, the two trend lines would have an identical length, and the price target would still reach the same level. So this is basically projecting a price decline for XRP to make new lows in this formation, which would be somewhere in the 16 cent area. To anyone who wants to debate the bear flag, it is a perfect bear flag by definition. This is a textbook example of a massive bear flag. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it will break to the downside, because no pattern works 100% of the time. However, when you see a sharp decline followed by a sideways consolidation, in parentheses he writes a pennant in this case, it's a bear flag. So we will have to see how it breaks, but the fact that XRP is showing this much weakness below the 61.8% retrace is not a good thing. Also, I'm sure you've noticed that red diagonal trend line cutting across the screen. Well, that trend line is actually very important. It is produced from the peak of December 2014 and the peak for March 2017. You can see that price has clearly been responding to it, and then in parentheses he writes in pink circles, and we've only just started to interact with it in September of last year. So you can see that price is breaking down below it, and that also it's a pretty concerning thing to see. So watch the bear flag, and the direction of the breakout will be key in determining the next major move. Overall, a move to the bottom of the formation, around 16 cents, is projected pending a breakdown of the bear flag. So there you go. And I've actually got another couple tweets from him, because he wrote that today, but it was earlier this morning here, and so I've got a couple tweets as updates here. First of all, and I do want to cite this too, a couple days ago he tweeted this out, and I did cover it on my channel. At the time, he tweeted out, my current target for XRP is 25.3 cents. And now he's talking about 16 cents, so what's going on there? Well, Magic himself went ahead and retweeted that from 2 days ago and wrote this today. This target isn't reliable anymore because XRP is building a large bear flag below the 61.8% retrace. Since it was unable to hold support above the 618, I have abandoned this target. And then just a couple hours ago, so this is the most recent from him, he wrote this, which is not positive. He wrote, there goes XRP breaking down from the pennant. And here's the screen. He did a screen grab, which I've put on the screen here. And so that's part of what he was talking about there. So not looking so hot. Into the next piece here. From dailyhuddle.com, crypto strategist says he's buying the Bitcoin dip despite aggressive pullback, and here's why. A prominent technical trader says he's buying the Bitcoin dip despite bearish forecasts and widespread fear in the crypto markets. The analyst known in the industry as Like Crypto tells his 20,000 followers on Twitter that global equity markets are showing signs of a potential bottom, which could bode well for Bitcoin. That, combined with the fact that the price of gold fell further than Bitcoin on Friday, has the trader feeling bullish on Bitcoin in the short term. And here's a quote. Beginning with a broad macro perspective, after 7 days of rarely seen bloodshed in global equity markets, and in particular U.S. equities, bidders have finally stepped in today with a rally off the capitulation notched in the overnight spooce market. Gold is down the most since 2013, possibly sold to cover margin calls. This is a further sign of an emotional and capitulatory macro environment. In all of this, Bitcoin has held, losing less on the day than gold. And then the piece continues. The trader also pointing out to analysis from fellow trader Cantor and Clark, who says relief could come if Bitcoin can remain above $8,600. And I actually previously shared that tweet, so I'm not going to read it again here. Next, here's a tweet from chart analyst Wooston, XRP/USD. A possible scenario for inverted head and shoulders. It doesn't mean it will happen or will happen. And this, I should mention this too before reading further. This is from February 27th, so 2 days ago, but there's an update, and that's why I want to go through this first. So XRP/USD, a possible scenario for an inverted head and shoulders. It doesn't mean it will happen or will happen this way. We had a new low, a falling wedge, and now a possible bottom reversal pattern. So far is looking good. Now, today, somebody responded to this and wrote, right shoulder can still go down to 20 cents according to that chart, ? To which Wooston responded, it can be 21 cents. And he also wrote 20.5 cents. Then he wrote, probably it won't be clear, symmetrical. So it could be getting lower. So Magic isn't the only one talking about the downside. He's the only one I saw today talking about anything specifically in the range of 16 cents. But again, even 20 cents, that's a bit lower than where we're at right now. So noteworthy. Here's a tweet from chart analyst Josh Rager. Bitcoin continuing to make lower closes on the daily. We'll stack some bids again in the 8,300s and lower. Hey, at least we'll have a CME gap at $8,700, a narrative for the market to pump back up. So he's seeing more to the downside as well. He also wrote this. Here's another tweet from Josh Rager. I think you'll find this interesting. He wrote, for the majority of people, typically when you feel the most tempted to sell your crypto or short after a strong pullback is usually the worst time to sell or short. Something to think about. And that's absolutely true. When people are buying, that's probably a good time to sell. When people are selling, that's probably a good time to buy. It's just how humans work. And the knowledge is out there, but and some of them know, like I'm aware of it, but the vast majority of humans aren't aware of it, and even if they were, they're still emotional beings, and sometimes emotion overrides logic. So just something to think about there. But anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks for stopping by. You can tell me in the comments below where you think this is all going in terms of price action. I would love to hear from you. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!